Me and her had a falling out because she stole my identity, so I don't talk to her. Okay, because she accumulated bills, crimes, she was carjacking people, and I had to go to court for 2 summers straight to clear my name.
This is the plaintiff, Taiwanita Denard. She says the defendant, her own sister, her own flesh and blood, owes her money for various loans she's made. And the girl just won't pay her back. As much as she's tried to do right by her, she's fed up with the defendant's attitude that she can do whatever she wants to whomever she wants. And well, the buck stops here because she's suing the ingrate for the $1,568.47 she's owed. This is the defendant, Tahisha Denard. She says she doesn't owe the plaintiff any money. The girl's just mad she's gotten closer to another of their sisters, and that's why she's lashing out. The plaintiff needs to get over whatever anger issues she has with her other sister, and she needs to stop spreading all this nonsense about a made-up loan. She's accused of dissing a sister.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Taiwanita Denard,
Yes.
you are suing Tahisha Denard for $1,568.47 in loans that you say you have made throughout various times in the last several years that she refuses to repay. Tell me
Yes.
what's going on.
Yes. Well, in 2010, she called me. She was backed up in her bills, and she asked me if she can borrow some money. So at that time, I had got my disability back pay, so I had the money to lend her. So through the course of the year, you know, she was calling and she was borrowing money. She borrowed maybe a total of, for that year, a total of $670. And then when she got her taxes on February 16th of 2011, she paid me back $300, which still leaves a balance of $370.
Is that accurate? You paid her back $300 that year?
It was never a loan.
Okay, so you didn't pay her back anything?
I sent her some money, but it wasn't payback. She helped me, so I felt the need
How
to
much money
give her
did you
back.
send her?
That year, I'm not sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And then in 2011, she borrowed a total of $698.47. She didn't pay anything on that loan. She claimed that she was behind on her bills and she couldn't send any money at that time. So I didn't really pressure her because I live alone. Well, it's just me and my husband, and she's taking care of 4 kids and my nephew of my sister who passed away in 2007. So it's 5 kids altogether. So I felt I was sympathetic to her situation. I'm like, okay, if I'm struggling and I'm alone, how does it feel for her to be, you know, raising these 5 kids? So I did what I could. So I sent her money various times. I paid her rent.
She says there were gifts because you felt that way.
No.
She was always supposed to pay you back?
Yes.
All right, so according to you then, the following year in 2012, she borrowed another $600, which she did pay back.
And she paid me back.
And she did that during tax season also?
Yes, that was
And then in 2013, she borrowed another $500, and that
Yes.
she didn't pay back.
Yeah.
Do you have any, let me hear from you. What's going on here? Why is she suing you? If they were all gifts and she's that good that she...
We had a nice relationship, you could say. We got back close. She came to Florida. She used to visit. She knew at the time that I was taking care of kids by myself and I had a very low income. So she was helping me. So whenever I got some money, I felt the need, like, she helped me, you know, as being my sister, I will help her too. Not as, oh, she loaned me the money. She helped me because she felt bad, you know, because I had my nephew as well. You know,
you're taking care of 5 kids. When did you have disposable income to go shower on somebody who didn't have to support any mouths?
But she was helping me because I had the kids. So I felt the need to give back because I'm like, she was the only person that was helping me. It was never for me to give it back to her. Like, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to give you this much money and then you're going to give me back this much money at the end of the year. It was never that.
And according to you, it is.
Yes.
Okay, if it was a gift, then why is she being so nasty now?
because I started talking to my other sister like about 6 months
Now the
ago.
plot thickens. What happened?
About 6 months ago, I guess her and my other older sister got into an
How
argument.
many girls are there?
Well, there
It was
was
four of
four
us
and
total.
one passed
And
away.
one passed away.
Well,
Okay,
so
go
it's
ahead.
3 of us, and then my sister came home from prison or whatever, and then them two don't really get along. They got into a little dispute or whatever. It came back to where though I was supposed to say something I didn't say, so we fell out. So it wasn't we wasn't as tight as we
Who
was.
wasn't tight? The two of you?
Yes, we wasn't as tight as we was over the previous years. So once that happened, when income tax came around, this time is like more intense, more like, oh, I need my money, more like it wasn't. Before she was helping me out, and I felt like if I got a lump sum of money and she was helping me out when I didn't have money, I wanted to help her out too. That's what it was. It was never a lump.
And now, what happened between you two as sisters?
No, let me tell you what happened, Judge. My sister, she did 6 years in jail. The one
What was
that
it
she's
for?
talking to. Robbery, holding somebody hostage.
Oh, my goodness.
Beating them, various things. She was in and out, but that was her longest bid. Me and her had a falling out because she stole my identity, so I don't talk to her, okay? Because she accumulated bills, crimes, she was carjacking people, and I had to go to court for 2 summers straight to clear my name. I even went to do my fingerprints because she got locked up under my name. I was standing right in front of the judge, telling the judge about the situation, and she was on the screen. They brought her to court. And I told the judge her name. He said, we don't have her in Hudson County under that name. So I said, Judge, can you try my name? And she was locked up under my name. So even after I was going through that with her.
This happens a lot, and it's almost always the sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know how she got all my information, but I did let her stay with me a few times, so maybe that's
So
why.
in any event, you don't talk to the other sister, Ann?
No, I don't. I don't have a problem with their relationship. What I had a problem with is that everything me and her talked about over the years while she was locked up, she told her. So now when me and her get into an argument, she's using it against me. She's telling me my business, and I'm wondering, how does she know that? I didn't get on the phone with her and tell her, because after she got out of jail,
Can I say something?
actually
No,
tried.
not while she's talking.
I actually tried to forgive my sister, the one that was locked up, okay? I had custody of her son for 2 years while she was locked up.
Oh, goodness.
Okay? I was taking care of him. And when she came home,
Are you the son?
he's,
All right, sweetie.
yeah. So I
How
was
old is he now?
He's 17 now. So when she came home, she wanted custody back, so I helped her get custody back. Then she tried to kick him out, and I got mad, and I went to the house, and we had an argument, and that's when she started throwing things in my face that I only said to her. So I called her. I said, that's how you betrayed me? I said, you told her all of my business, and she hung up the phone. I didn't hear from her. When I text her in November, I said, are you going to make a payment plan, or are you going to pay me when you get your taxes? Because the more she pay me back, the more she borrows. So I said, maybe if she make a payment plan, and then when the taxes come, she could just pay the rest. She said, no, she cannot pay me now.
Well, let me. You have this on text?
Yes.
Oh, let me see the text.
Here we go, right here. It starts with it says,
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you sue your sister if your sister intentionally screwed you over $1,500?
Yeah, I would, because that's a lot of money. I mean, you know.
So you would, okay?
I actually would not, because there must have been a reason why she did that, and I would go after her first before I'd bring it to court.
Fair enough. And a guy.
No, I wouldn't.
Why? But she disrespected you.
It's family, and
She
you
disrespected you, though.
can work it out.
$3,000.
3,000, yeah.
That was great. Going inside the courtroom.
Is he living with you now?
no, he actually lived with his mom. I helped her get custody back of him when she came home.
But he's here with you today?
Yeah, just he wants to see his aunt. He hasn't seen her since 2008, so I brought him so he can see her.
Wait, I thought you're. Why hasn't he seen her since 2008?
She lives in Florida.
Oh. Have you seen him yet?
I see him now.
Are you happy to see your aunt?
No.
Go over there and give your aunt a kiss while I'm reading stuff.
See, I'm not mean. I chose
Family's
to bring,
family, man.
I chose to bring him. I chose to bring him instead of my husband because he hasn't seen her.
Blood is blood. Hey, sis, this is in November. When are you going to pay me back? Because I need the money. Are you going to make payments, or are you going to wait for your taxes? You're in there as drama-free?
I should have changed that.
I think that's pretty funny because I can't help but notice where you are and what's happening. But okay, her answer, taxes. I don't have any taxes. I don't have any money. I had to buy a new car because the one I got from mommy broke down. Wow, okay, no problem. Thanks, love ya. Let me tell you what it doesn't say. Payment plan, payments, what are you talking about? Those were gifts. That's what it doesn't say. Happy Thanksgiving, sissy, love you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Tell my babies I miss them, love you too.
I still
Happy
tried to
New
stay in
Year's, love
contract.
ya. Happy birthday. Love you, sissy. Hello, LOL. Hey, LOL, next month is almost here. That's what, tax time? What's next month? Kyron's birthday? Money, money, money. LMFAO. And Chiron birthday. Who's Chiron?
My nephew.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, I can't wait to payday. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to payday. You and me both. Did you file? And then you say, did you file your taxes yet? Waiting on them. You filed already? This is February. Yeah, on the 27th of January. Oh, okay. Please tell my baby Chiron that Auntie say happy birthday. Then February 10th. Hey, then you say, did you get your returns? Should have gotten them by now unless something's wrong. And then you say, that's real foul, sis. You don't answer none of my texts or phone calls, but it's cool. I'm at work. I will send your money off as soon as I can. What money? These are gifts. These aren't loans. What money?
The thing was that she kept harassing me about her helping me. So I figured it was definitely a gift. It wasn't no.
Let me tell you something, girl. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and acts like a duck, sometimes it's just a duck. That's all. It's just that simple. You pay her back, but it's not paying her back. It's just me volleying the ping pong, because she helps me. So I have 5 kids, and I always need the money, and she's got her disability, but I'm gonna pay her back. And then when you say I'm gonna pay you back, I shouldn't look at that and say it's a loan. I should just look at that as what? You being generous?
I just was gonna give it back.
Yeah, okay, well, you know what? That's good with me. If it's good for you, it's good for me too. Give it back. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,568.47.
Thank you.
And listen to me, just a second. I want to say something. No. Just listen to me. I don't know if you're insulted that your sister sued you over $1,500. I know you didn't pay her, so I don't know what other recourse she had. I also agree with you that if you weren't having problems with her, she wouldn't have sued you. I have 3 daughters. And I am always so wistful when I watch their relationship with each other. Because they are best friends, cradle to grave.
That's what we were.
And that's what you need to be again, okay? Good luck, ladies.
Defendant here, and that was a nice hug, wasn't it, from him?
I missed him a lot.
Is that the best thing about the case?
Yes.
By far?
By far.
All right, there's your sister right there. I mean, cradle to grave, right?
Yes.
You feel that about her?
She's still my sister. I still love her
I
at the
know
end of the day, but it is what it
You
is.
sure you want to say but, or do you want to just look over there and invite her out here and say, sis, this is as good a time as any to patch it up and put this stuff behind us?
Yeah, I don't know. I still love you. It's all right. It's no.
She loves you too. Come here. Come on out. Come on.
It's all right.
Tell each other. Here you are.
I still love you. It's all right. I'm not mad.
This thing is taken care of by the judge. Can you put the issues that you have with her behind you?
I don't really have any issues with her.
No
I tried,
issues.
even after she did what she did, I still kept in contact. But the phone calls stopped and the texting stopped on her end.
All right, the butts need to stop,
Okay.
Right? The butts,
you're
right? How about you?
Yeah.
Got anything there? Come on in here. Do something. Do something for these. You care about what do you care more about?
I just came to see my aunt. For me, it's moral support. Came to see my aunt. Why not?
Get the other arm around the other one, too. All right. That's more like it. Harvey?
Kurt, I got to tell you, emails where you email documenting what goes back and forth in terms of money with a family member is more important with somebody, a casual acquaintance, because honestly, the relationships tend to be worth more than the money, and that's why you want to make sure you prevent a misunderstanding. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that An enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Jonathan. He says he was going to rent a room in the defendant's house, but never moved in, and now can't get his deposit back because the oddball defendant's acting like a jerk. This is America, and there are laws. So he's not taking matters into his own hands. He's taking him to court for the $725 he's rightfully owed. This is the defendant, Zach Jacobson. He says the guy agreed to rent a room in his house and also agreed to pay an extra $100 a month because he had a large dog. A few days later, the guy told him he was looking around at other places to live because he thought he was charging too much for the dog. Then he said if he didn't return all his money, he was going to call the cops, who, by the way, never showed up. Bottom line, the guy backed out of the deal. Deposits are non-refundable, and that is that. He's accused of making a tenant doggone mad.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says he's standing up for justice after the landlord refused to return his security, and the plaintiff never even moved in. But the defendant says the plaintiff got cold feet because the defendant charged a premium for the plaintiff's dog. It's the case of dog and tenant gone.
Thank you, Douglas. Jonathan, you've asked us not to mention your last name, and we'll respect that. You're suing Zach Jacobson for $725 that you say he owes you for a security deposit. You are saying that that was rent, and he's the one who bailed, and you're entitled to keep it. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I initiated contact with him from Craigslist and went to go see the place, which was in my neighborhood. It was a good location, adequate room. I just felt like it could use a paint job. So we discussed the terms. I got to see the space, and he decided that he should take some time to decide. I guess other people were interested, and so the next day he called me, and I gave him the security.
He called you and said what?
That he'd like me to move in, and I could give him.
And you were going to move in when?
That wasn't actually established because my lease ended quite a bit out, like a month and a half after this time period, like mid-March. This was February 2nd.
Yeah, but hey, he has to have an idea of when he wants you in there, because if another guy's going to rent sooner, he would want the other guy.
Right.
What according to you, when was he supposed to move in?
He said his lease came up, I think, the 19th.
Of what?
February. And I said I'd give you a break on that month, but as the room was ready to be.
This is so simple. When was he supposed to move in?
The room, February.
February 1st?
It was open to rent February.
He was open to rent February, but when was he gonna rent?
It was undetermined. He said he's moving.
Okay.
He's moving out of his place currently. And I said, when we exchanged the deposit for a key, I said, here's the key. You can move in at your own pace, and we painted that following weekend.
What if he never moved in?
I never moved in.
What if he just said, okay, nah, still can't move in, nah, still not ready, nah, can't get movers, still not, like, as of when were you going to be enforcing your right for him to start paying additional rent? Like, what was your plan there?
The deposit was in place until...
Until what? Until you got tired of waiting? Because there is no date.
Well, I say we can figure out. I said I'll.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Okay.
All right, you can picking up what I'm putting down here, that it's kind of risky and silly for you.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. What happened?
So we, as he mentioned, we decided to paint the room just because it was in need, and we went together to pick up supplies and stuff, which I helped and half paid for, and painted the room. It took about 4 hours, and I think during that time is when I really started to get a feel for Zach, more so than when I initially toured the property, because that was only a half an hour or so. And I just got the distinct impression that we were really going to clash. So I said,
how so?
Based on personality and.
How so?
Well, I think the number one thing that set me off was there's other roommates, and we were painting, obviously, so there was a strong smell, and she had asked, can you guys open a window? Or it was kind of cold that day. And Zach kind of like passively aggressively told her, you can leave or go downstairs. Today's painting day. And I just felt like that was, if I were in that position, I wouldn't like that. So that was just one of the several cues.
Tell me the others.
I guess it would be, I was slightly irked that, he wouldn't just offer up to paint the room himself, being a landlord, or pay for the supplies himself, being a landlord.
Why it needed a paint job because it was in disrepair, or it needed a paint job because
it's a
you wanted
70s
a
home
different
and
color?
it hadn't been updated at all. It was like that 70s like mauve
Okay.
color. Yeah.
All right, so go on.
So like I said, that night.
Was there anything else?
Oh, you mean personality-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what was your reasoning?
Well,
You just got general juju? I mean, what what about it? Was there something in particular? I mean, yes, I heard you. He was, in your estimation, impolite to her.
That was the major one, but just general conversation thing, topically, and I just had the gut feeling that this is going to be awkward and potentially negative.
Okay, so you tell him, I've changed my mind. I don't want to live there.
Well, that night after painting the room, like I said, the location was really good, and I told myself if I can potentially maybe get like this dog fee lowered to a reasonable rate, maybe that'll make up for it, and I'll just stay there. It'll be fine for 6 months, whatever.
So you start texting him about lowering the dog fee.
I sent him an email, which I have here.
Right, and he says no.
Pretty much.
He says, well, no,
more or less,
but if it turns out that your dog doesn't have a big footprint, what was it? Like, is it too messy or whatever, then maybe we could talk.
Well, he said that they'd be taking care of her and all this, but, she goes to doggy day camp, so I don't know how much care they would really be taking over. But
okay.
Anyway, so that was passed, and it just kind of irked me even further.
Your dog goes to doggy day camp?
She does.
On a bus?
No.
I've seen it. I don't know why you're all chuckling. I have seen the doggy day camp bus go by my neighborhood, and my dog is always looking out the window saying, I wish I went to doggy day camp. All right, so you ask him for the money back, and he doesn't give it back to you. Now, why don't you give it back to him?
Well, that clearly states the cost of the room. And he said he wanted to take the room and asked to paint the room. And I said that was fine, and I agreed as long as I approved the color. And I even said I'd help paint. And when we went down to Home Depot to choose, I even paid half.
Why were you so rude to your other roommate?
Oh, I don't know about rude. I told her we're painting. There's not much we can do.
Why can't you open a window? That's vile. It's unhealthy for everybody.
I think we did what we could,
Which is
considering the weather, to air it out. And I told her just.
Did you open a window or no?
I think I did for sure. Yeah.
So he calls you and he tells you, "Can you lower this fee?" Or he emails you, "Can you lower the fee?" You say no. Then he says, "I want my money back."
Yeah, he emailed and.
All right. And the reason you will not give him the money back is why?
Well, because I passed up other potential renters, and
now, what was that money? That money was security deposit, or that money was 1 month rent, or that money was
deposit equaling 1 month.
Equaling 1 month rent. Obviously, no lease was ever signed, right?
No, I offered. I have a standard lease, but it's up to you. I'm open to non-lease. I've had friends before stay there, and.
Okay. Now, on the day that he's going to move in, which we don't know what day that is, on the day that he's going to move in, what would happen? Would you collect further money?
Yeah. Yeah.
On the day that you're going to move in, would you have to pay further money?
We never even got to that point. And
according to you, he would.
He offered to pay the rent with the deposit, and I said, that's all right, we can sum up later. So I gave that allowance too. But for now,
the understanding was that there would always be a security deposit in this case?
Yeah, it's a deposit, yeah. And I didn't include a non-refundable pet fee, and I think a large part of the misunderstanding is he compared it to apartments, and I said this is an apartment, this is a house, and there's a fenced yard and a garage and people around to help take care of the dog, and so it's not, I don't think it's fair to compare apartment to a house.
So you bail out on what day?
The 11th, February 11th.
Of February?
I gave him the deposit the 2nd. I said, this isn't a good idea on the 11th. And that's the day he took the key back.
What's your premise on why you're entitled to change your mind and not have to pay for 1 month rent when you agreed to rent it? So at minimum, his argument is this is a month-to-month tenancy. He agreed to it. He's breaching it. So he's out a month rent.
Right. The way I saw it, when I immediately walked in the door, I think one of the first questions I asked was, do you have a lease? And he said that, I quote, they're not worth the paper they're printed on. So, I mean, that was pretty much out the window in my opinion. So moving on from that, we discussed, I gave him the deposit to hold it from these other people who apparently really wanted the room.
And didn't he hold it from those people who apparently wanted the room?
He did. And then we discussed, you know, since we already were in February, what that rent might be. And he said he'd knock it down or something, but we never even set up a time to make that payment. And my original...
So why should you get money back?
So where I was getting with that was, you know, I understand the inconvenience, and I even put that into my claim that those 9 days or 8 days, you know, he missed out. But then when I came to him and he took the key, we had this discussion, and if he were to say, can you pay me for those days, I probably would have agreed. But he said, I'm going to keep your check and deduct how many days it takes for me to get a new tenant. And I said, no, you know, that's not even legal. We don't even have a lease. So...
Did you get a new tenant?
I haven't yet filled the room.
Okay, go ahead.
And that was the other problem, is that, you know, you expect somebody in that position to go after a tenant right away. But I found the Craigslist ad, and it was posted 11 days after this had all happened. So it wasn't like he was really trying to fill that spot. So he just intended to keep my money.
The original ad was still on, and I reposted it again. So there's a continuous, and I have a stream of people that are inquiring about the room. And
why haven't you rented it now?
Well, I look through a lot of emails, and I call and talk to some, and I invite a few over, and it just hasn't come through yet.
Where are you guys from? Colorado?
I'm from New York, but I live in Colorado.
From South Dakota.
Okay. Where's the house?
Denver. Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. Sorry, it's my fault. All right, so the house is in Colorado.
It also says $500 deposit on here.
Where?
On the ad. So my deposit was more than that for some reason.
Which makes me think that it's rent and not a deposit. I don't care what you guys call it, I have to figure out what it is. And the reason that I have to figure out what it is, did you ever send him a letter saying, I'm keeping the money you paid me as rent?
No.
Okay. Now, where's the actual ad?
This isn't the one I saw, but this is the one he posted after.
Which is the one you saw?
This is a different ad, I think.
Okay, where's the original ad?
He can look at it if you want.
There's not a copy of it. It was deleted.
Okay, so it's deleted. Did you post the same ad or did you change the ad?
At that time frame, I never discontinued the ad, but after
Did you change the verbiage in the ad or did you not change the verbiage in the ad?
I did change it slightly.
What did you change?
So if you change your mind before moving in, even if you sign the lease, can you get your deposit back?
Absolutely not.
Why?
It's a deposit. It's a contract. You lose your deposit.
Yeah, but the landlord, what's the landlord out if you haven't moved in yet?
I think if you sign it, you sign it.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Anybody disagree? Anybody? Takers? No? Going inside the courtroom.
What did you change?
I can't recall detail.
I mean, it just when you say slightly, was it the price, was it the deposit, or was it how you described the area, or was it what?
Yeah, I think I went from, I said originally $100 for a pet, and in the revision I put $25 to $100 depending on size.
Okay. And what about the deposit? Let me see that one. The deposit of $500. Is that what the original ad said?
It may have, but I went with because
Do
it
you
would
remember
be,
that whether the deposit?
I believe it did.
Yeah, it very well could have, but considering the dog was added to it.
Okay, we're done. I have one
Okay.
question, and the question that I have to answer, and I appreciate you both trying to be as honest as you can, which I think you both have, because you're answering things in a way that are adverse to each of you. But at which either you don't know where I'm going with it, or you're being honest. I choose to believe you're being honest. I have to decide, you have a statute in your state in place, and you better know this if you're going to be a landlord, that says that within 30 days you have to send the reason why you're keeping a security deposit. If, in fact, this is a security deposit and not rent, then you can't keep it unless you sent that letter, and you didn't. But just because you guys keep saying deposit, deposit, deposit doesn't mean it's really a deposit. The judge has the responsibility to figure out, is this rent or a deposit? The original ad said $500 deposit, like this ad says, which both of you think it did. Then what would have happened when he had to move in was the additional $500 in order to put him up to par, because what he had paid is rent. What he had paid was a $625 plus the $100 for the dog, which is rent. So he paid rent, and the question is, is there something that you fail to do as a landlord that would make you go ahead and have to return his rent? Because otherwise, what you have to understand is that there are consequences to making a decision and then changing your mind. The consequences are never more than a month, but there's a consequence, even on a month-to-month. It doesn't mean you made a bad decision. It might have been the best decision you ever made in your life, but it's going to cost you and not him. And based on what I've heard, I find it to be rent, and I find that he's entitled to keep it for having held it for you and turned away the other people. And I find that he doesn't have to pay you that money back. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
That brings the plaintiff out into the hallway here on the losing end of Judge Million's decision here. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think she's wrong. I mean, my check here says security deposit. I wouldn't have given rent for an apartment that I wasn't going to move into for a month and a half. But I don't even know if I was allowed to give up that information.
Well, listen, you called him some name, odd. He said he was odd and a jerk even. But what gave you that impression?
I don't know if I said that. Maybe odd. That's fine.
Odd?
But I think I'm entitled to think somebody's odd.
All right. All right, so step on in here. Satisfied how this comes out here?
Yeah.
Great demand for places in Colorado these days?
I think it is.
You find that?
Yeah, it's sold out, everybody. No more room left.
Yeah.
So stay here or wherever.
Harvey?
So here's the deal. If you are not sure about the lease that you're about to sign, maybe ask the landlord, look, can you write in there that I have a 72-hour grace period to cancel? Usually landlords won't buy it, but at least it's worth trying. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Marjorie Garvin. She says she hired the defendant to install an awning on her deck. He warranted the work and the fabric for 10 years, and 1 year later, the thing collapsed. When she called the defendant to come take a look so he could fix it under his warranty, he refused, and here they are. She's suing the unscrupulous businessman for $3,500, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, David Yannick. He says he custom makes every awning he sells and is proud of his work. The plaintiff, however, didn't heed his warnings, left her awning up all winter long, and after a 2-foot snowstorm, the thing gave way and collapsed. He told the plaintiff awnings need to be maintained. She should have stopped her kids from playing video games to clear the snow off of it, because if she had, they wouldn't be here today. He's accused of yawning over a falling awning.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff hired the defendant to install an awning. It was guaranteed for 10 years, but collapsed after 1. The defendant says the awning should have been taken down during the winter, especially the last one. It's the case of shock and awning.
Thank you, Douglas. Marjorie Garvin.
Yes.
You are suing Edge Media, New York Incorporated, Edge Signs and Awnings, represented here by the owner, who is David Yannick.
Yes.
Okay. For $3,500, a cost to replace an awning that you say did not survive the warranty. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, the ornament fell down approximately.
You hired them to put an awning in your home?
Yes, in my home.
And do you have a picture of the awning?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have a picture of the awning after the work was completed?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. So do you always take pictures of your work after you install it?
All the work that I'm very, very proud of.
Okay, but you do always take pictures of your work after you install it?
Most work, yes.
Okay. Is this your awning?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's nice. So that is over a patio area?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what happened?
I went in my backyard one morning in the month of February and discovered that it was down on top of the deck.
Okay. And what caused it to be down on the deck?
Well, we did have a little snow.
A little snow?
We had quite a bit of snow.
A little snow?
We had quite a bit of snow.
Okay. You are in Staten Island.
Right, I am.
All right. Did you call him and tell him, come out here, look at this, and do my work?
Yes, I did. I called him, and he did come out. He came out.
When did you come out there?
In February, I believe it was the middle-ish, Your Honor.
All right. And when you came out there, what'd you see?
I seen the awning down towards the middle. There was feet of snow on top of that awning.
Did you take a picture?
No, I did not.
Why would you not take a picture? You took a picture of the completed work, but you don't take a picture of somebody who's making a warranty claim that's
The claim was not at that point, Your Honor.
Yeah, but she's calling you in there not to have tea and cookies. She's calling you in there because she's complaining, I want you to replace this, and you didn't take a picture?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Do you have a telephone that takes pictures?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. It's my fault, Your Honor.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's kind of short-sighted, but anyway, did you take a picture?
Yes, I did.
Can I see your pictures?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And when did you take these pictures?
I taken those pictures in late February, 1st of March, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it looks like one of the poles, what do we call them? What do you call it? Is there a name for the poles?
Pulse.
One of the poles ripped out from something. Something was causing it to rip out and crack, rip out from the bottom and then crack from up here. And then I guess that's what caused is this umbrella fabric?
Absolutely.
Which is nice and strong and good quality,
It is
and that's what caused it to rip?
Best fabric on the planet.
Right. So what's your position? This broke, I have a 10-year warranty, so he should fix it.
Yes, I do.
And what's your position? It broke because you didn't maintain it with the snow issue.
So is it customary to take an awning down during the winter?
No, I never heard about it even.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
A lot of snow?
Yes. No.
And you leave them up?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, it broke because it was not intended for heavy snow. In fact, when I did install it and I finished, I explained to her that she should brush it off or have me come and take off the fabric after the season.
Right. Well, what would that cost?
Maybe $75
So to take the fabric off so nothing will happen to it
and then reinstall it.
and then reinstall it.
Yeah, Your Honor, that was never said to me.
Well, okay, and there are some people who would, I mean, this is not a retractable awning. This is not an awning she could take off herself. This is an awning she'd have to pay you every year to take it. But short of doing that, how about just taking the snow off?
Absolutely, I explained that to her, Your Honor. And in fact, in my contract, it does say all work needs to be maintained in one form or another.
How often would you take the snow off the awning?
I didn't take the snow off the ornament, Your Honor.
How many feet of snow do you think the awning can take? I mean, it's only human.
But he put it out on the pitch. He told me it would last. He gave it to me in writing.
It will. What it won't last, it'll last, and the rain will roll away, and the snow might melt and roll away. But when you have snow on top of snow on top of snow, we had a lot of snow. A lot of snow this time. And if you don't take, if more snow falls before the next snow melts, and you have all this weight, that stuff weighs. And that is part. The maintenance part is your responsibility. It's not a problem with the workmanship. It's a problem with the maintenance if you don't take any of the snow away and just let it pile up.
But, Your Honor, on this, he has nothing about that.
About maintenance? Hand me your copy of the contract.
Yes. And I also have a trampoline in the backyard.
Yeah, you got to take the snow off the trampoline too.
That was nothing was done with that, and no harm was done, and that wasn't put up by
but trampoline material that is intended to be bounced upon by someone who weighs 200 pounds is not the same as umbrella fabric, as good as umbrella fabric may be. Now, according to you, he says nothing about it. I'm going to circle in your contract where it says something about it, which, by the way, is common sense and doesn't need saying. But in any event, it does say, so all work needs to be maintained in one form or another. And then it goes on to talk about a bunch of other stuff. But that sentence, all work needs to be maintained in some form or another, is common sense. I mean, you're a homeowner, you need to take care of your things, and you can't leave foot upon foot of snow weighing something down like that and not scoop the snow off. And you're gonna have a problem with your roof too eventually if you don't have some sense of taking the snow off. This is just fabric and some metal, and how long have you been doing this?
10 years, Your Honor.
How'd you fare in Hurricane Sandy?
There were lots of calls.
Yeah, there must have been lots of calls.
Absolutely.
And Your Honor, I also want to make a statement here. These screws that he put this ornament up with is not for that ornament. These are the screws that he
Says
used.
who?
These screws goes up.
Says who? They're not for that.
I'm just saying this is
No,
not,
you can't just say. You need to have an expert tell me his workmanship was shoddy. That's why this fell apart. If you brought me another awning guy who came here, put his hand up to God and said, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, that guy's workmanship is shoddy. That's why this happened. It didn't happen because of the snow. You'd be winning this case. Okay? But you know, if you're telling me point blank, I never took the snow off it, and I know how much snow there was, and for you to tell me, and I know how it piled and piled and piled, and
Your Honor, if she would have called me, I would have came down there and helped her.
And helped her what, though? The thing is, nobody...
I would have took it as a sales call. No, I wouldn't have charged her.
To do what? You shovel the snow?
No, I wouldn't shovel snow. I would have shown her how to take the snow off the top of it easily.
How is it easily? Show me. I want to know.
You just get an extension pole,
and you
hook it onto a broom, and you just pull it down. That's it. I would have took it as a sales call.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And try to sell her on another one.
Well, either way, I mean, look, what I have in front of me is basically extremely straightforward. There is no evidence before me that it was shoddy workmanship. There is a lot of evidence before me that there was no maintenance, because you admit that you never took the snow off, and we all know how much snow, how many feet of snow was this season, and I just don't think you can expect it to survive that, because you still have to maintain your own home, and I find in favor of the defendant.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, what do you think of that? The plaintiff comes out losing this case. Come on over here next to me here a bit. Step in. What do you think of that?
Well, I didn't win my case. I didn't win it.
No.
No, I have nothing else to say.
Well, you should have maintained the situation,
Well,
right?
I'm being a woman. I did not know, and he didn't explain to me. He just told me that I had a 10-year warranty.
All right, okay. All right, then that closes it out. Okay, head right down this way. All right, so put yourself in her shoes, She spent for the awning, she's got what she wants, and now it ain't working.
Yeah, but it does say in the contract, and I did explain to her clearly that you need to maintain the work in so much as take off the snow.
Yeah, could you have done a little more for her?
If she would have called me, I would have went down there for free and took it as a sales call to sell her on another awning for the other part of her house, and just took it off and explained to her, this is the way you do it. It's real easy.
If she would have called you would have gone down and taken the snow off?
Absolutely, for free, yes. I step up for my customers.
Harvey?
Short story, even with a warranty, you have a duty to care for the property that is under warranty, and if you don't, guess what? You are out of luck.